In this video, you are going to watch a leaked coaching session where we break down 5 sales calls step by step and show you exactly where they went wrong and exactly what to say to move people into the buying line with your words. Now, if you're a business owner or a manager or an operator, here's exactly how you need to be reviewing your calls with your team. And this is exactly what to change in your process to close more deals. And this comes from somebody who has closed over $107 million in 4 years. So if you want to master the skill of influence and be able to move people with your words in your business, watch this video and join my free school community down in the link in the description below, where you have access to trainings just like this every single day, every single week. We're going to break down marketing and sales using influence inside there. So enjoy the video and I'll see you inside. Let's run this. So basically, you guys, each week, we're going to drop a post inside of school and we're going to pin it. All right. I'm thinking Monday is probably the best day to do this, maybe Tuesday, something like that. Yep. Just a few days in advance so that you can drop in whatever you want reviewed ahead of time. And we're going to prioritize those. Okay. So if you show up and you dropped a comment on that post, then we're going to hit you first. Right.
First come, first serve.
Yeah. So let's pop over to Bradley first. Now, Bradley, I know you popped in the whole call. Would you mind just kind of pointing us in a certain direction on what part you'd like reviewed or what happened that you'd like, kind of fill us in what's going on?
Yeah, 22 minutes is a good place. That's where I'm like trying to dig into pain. Context is this is like literally a Russian mob boss, like so closed off. You'll see his energy. And like the whole call I can see, like I can tell he's like wants to make an impact. He's dead inside. Like he's doing this real estate lending business. He's just like he wants to be a speaker, but he's like so macho and masculine. Like I can't get anything out of him.
Okay. All right, let's look at 22 minutes, and then I have a feeling that we should look at before that. But let's start at 22 minutes, and let's see.
Would help a lot.
Hear this? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear.
Okay. Is it something that, like, is the income something that you actually need, or are you comfortable where you're at right now?
Well, my goal is to do...
Good talk, man.
My short-term goal is to do 1 million a year. And this could come from different sources. And the speaking gig, I thought would be one of the sources.
I'm just going to speed this up a bit.
Yeah, that would bring more income to that specific goal that I have.
You also learn how to speak as well.
Yep.
2 years?
Few years, like 2 years, 3 years, 10 years?
Yeah, about that. About 2 years, so.
Okay. And at the rate you're going with the real estate business, if, let's say we don't add speaking there, how long do you feel like it would take you to get to $1 million just through that vein? Like, are you satisfied with the pace things are going right now?
Not entirely. I mean, sort of we're now hitting a plateau.
Okay, cool. I think I see what I need to see here. Let's now go back to the beginning of the call, and let's see how things open up. Because usually, if you guys want to think about things this way, it's kind of a wedge, kind of like an angle. Like when you first start at the base of an angle, what is that part called? I forget. It's not the fulcrum. That's like a lever.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it.
If you're right at the base of an angle, no matter how big the angle is, like right at the base, it's still fairly small. And of course, over time, it gets much, much bigger. But at the beginning, it's still very small. And so it doesn't matter whether the angle is going towards somebody being very closed off or if they're being very open. It always starts small right at the beginning. So I'm going to look at the beginning and let's see what we can work with here. So let me see if I can find where he actually...
Can you just mute and unmute for me, see if that fixes it?
I see that.
Jump in with you today. Can you hear me? See me clearly?
Yes.
Your sound's coming through a little muffled. Can you just mute and unmute for me, see if that fixes it?
So wait, can you pause, Christian? Pause.
Yep.
That's super. I see what you did there, Bradley. Beautifully executed. The one thing I put this in a video in the school, in the Illuminati classroom, if you want to go back and watch it. The one thing with, if you're going to do the compliance thing, it cannot just be like one thing you do in the beginning and then forget about it. It has to be built throughout the entire, the whole interaction has to be this like step ladder of kind of like Christian said, it's a wedge. So like what you just did was like the tip of the angle. And so the whole interaction has to build off of that. And so it's not just asking him to like, hey, can you mute, unmute? Okay, cool. Now can you stand up and, you know, dance on one foot? It's not that kind of stuff. It's just bigger and bigger mental compliances that you're getting from him. So I know you already know this. I just thought it was worth mentioning. But Christian, go ahead and resume.
Fantastic. All right.
Good. And then mute. Hold on. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, perfect. All right. So you and I, we have an hour together today.
Right.
I just want to check in.
Personally, Bradley, there's two ways that you can go with this. I'm curious to see what Cameron's thoughts are on this. But for me, I almost always will lean into being more friendly in the beginning. So there's kind of two ways that you can run meeting somebody for the first time and starting to work on some things, right? I think of it in two ways. Number one is going with whatever it is that they're doing, aka mirroring them and matching their energy and then moving it over time. Or number two is completely pattern interrupting them and being completely different than them and basically forcing them to absolve into your frame. Personally, I like to err in a way that's kind of a mix of the two. I always show up super friendly. Like, we're old buds. Like, I'm your grandpa that you haven't seen in ages. Like, that kind of energy is like friendly grandpa. Like, what's up, Bradley? How you doing, dude? Great to meet you. Fantastic. Whereabouts in the world are you? Like, Lord knows, how do you get your head that shiny? That's fantastic. Like friendly energy, because this will do a couple of things. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. I am lowering defenses. Right? That's really the biggest part of it. With the 4D influence model, remember we went over the 4 steps? Disarm is the first one. So disarming anybody has to come first. So the way that we do it either can be pattern interruptee disarm, or it can be exactly the same as them disarm. So it seems like right here, one sec, let me finish this, I'll come to you, Jordan. So it seems like right here you're choosing the mirroring angle, like matching him. Personally, when somebody is acting like this specifically, I don't know that I want to mirror him. Like when they're very stoic, when they're very non-emotional, when they're very just bland, I personally don't know if I want to mirror them fully. Maybe a little bit, but not entirely. Like, you wouldn't want to come on with this guy and be like, yo, what's up, Jeff? How you doing? Like, he's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? But it may still like break his pattern. But I might bring it down a couple notches. Like I said, say, you know, maybe not a 10 out of 10 energy. Maybe bring it down to like a 5 out of 10. So meet him halfway. Does that make sense? So that way you're kind of hitting the best of both worlds with mirroring him, but then also already breaking his pattern straight from the get-go. Does that make sense? Okay. Jordan, what's your question?
No, I was just going to say, so like when you come on the call with this, because I start pretty friendly too, and like I definitely deal with A-type guys like this. Like, would it be in my best interest to be like, holy cow, how do you get your head that shiny? Because I feel like that actually is a good icebreaker, but like, how do you think that would actually sit on a sales call?
We'll find out.
Yeah, Jordan, if you have to ask, how would this sit? Don't ask the question. Just just fucking do it. Like, just ask the question without any concern over the outcome. Just like, dude, how the fuck do you get your head that shiny, man? Like, that's got to be beyond Mr. Clean. Are you Mr. Clean? Because you kind of look like him, man. If you do it with enough like pizzazz, that you can get away with saying whatever you want. Man. Yeah, you can get away with it.
Cool. 100%. 100%.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Christian.
I'll pop it over to you, Cameron, in just a second, just to close out the point. So, Bradley, that's one way that you can start that compliance wedge, even a little bit more. So he's coming on super bland. You set a completely different frame, and you'll notice he starts following you with it if you do it well. Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah. To add to what you said about the friendliness, there's one asterisk that I would like one caveat to that is some people have a coping like a stress or a conflict coping mechanism of like if somebody is really closed off, it's going to trigger some childhood thing where I go into accommodating and people pleasing mode. And so I start being overly friendly and overly polite, not as a friendly frame, not as like what Christian said, but more so out of like, I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want this guy to be mad at me. So I'm just going to be super nice and friendly. So be mindful that what Christian just said, you're doing it not out of accommodating. You were doing it strictly out of choice. Like, you absolutely do not have to be friendly. You are choosing to be friendly. And you don't feel like you're stretching yourself or accommodate. So be mindful if you're going to go the friendly route that you're not, just be aware of any like patterns that are coming up if you feel yourself going into like accommodation mode. Just thought that was worth mentioning.
100%.
That's a great point. And not to jump in, but that's something I struggle with a lot was like people pleasing, dropping the tension. So I'm really working on just holding as much tension as possible. So I think that's why I chose to mirror him like fully. Is like, all right, let's fucking get into the tension then, Mr. Clean. And then heads up, I do gotta jump at 12:30. Nima put a meeting on the calendar. Just a heads up.
All good.
Bradley, real quick, and then we can continue. You can absolutely hold tension and still be friendly. Like you can do the friendly frame and hold tension. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. You can do both at the same time.
100%. 100%.
Cool. Let's keep
You're
rolling.
still good to go until 1 o'clock PST. And can you go a little over if we need to?
No, I cannot go over. I have other commitments.
Okay, we got a hard stop.
Typical thing is if you start with no-based questions, Bradley, then you're going to also be able to open people up a little bit more because it creates safety. If you ask a question whose answer is a no, people feel more safe saying no. Like if I ask, are you free later? You're like, yeah, maybe. Depends on what we're doing. But if I'm like, hey, are you busy at 6? No. Completely cool. Or if I ask, like if I'm walking into your office or trying to give you a call or something, hey, are you free? Kind of. Hey, are you busy? No, what's up? Like people are just more open to saying no. There's a whole book about it called Start With No if you want to read more about it. But start with questions that get no-based answers. So like on this, instead of asking, are you good on time? Or, can we go past or anything like that? Just say, hey, any time pressures on your end? We're booked for about 45 minutes. Get them to say no.
Yep. Okay. So you and I, we've got one goal, right? Which is to dive into your message, what you want to share on stage. And then of course, what your goals are after that, like what you want to create in the world. And we want to see if we can actually help you with that. Meaning what we do here at Leader aligns with your goals and you're actually a good fit for what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to be crystal clear up front, Eugene. We make really bold guarantees on all of our programs, right? And so we're going to dive pretty deep. You're going to see me looking down. You'll see my hair. Hopefully it looks good. I am taking notes. I'm not scrolling Instagram, so I'm still with you. First thing, I just want to congratulate you and say thanks for jumping on. 97% of the people in the world who have a message, who actually have goals to jump in, right? They never even take the next step to take an hour out of their day to see if it is possible. Right?
What do you think about the frame for this guy, Bradley? I know this is probably the typical frame that you take, but what do you think about it for this guy specifically?
Yeah, the second you said that, like, I'm really trying to practice those two things and get them in, but I should have had a super direct frame with this guy.
Possibly. What do you feel would have been a better frame to take, other than just saying super direct? Like, what do you mean by that? What would be a good frame?
Like a logical outcome-based frame. Like, first step is talk about your message. Second step is to see if we can help you actually get paid to share that message, if that's your goal. And then third step, decide whether or not to work together. Something that has clear outcomes for him.
Potentially. I would also add in the behaviors that you want him to have aligned with those clear, simple outcomes. So you're already picking up on the fact that this guy probably just is bottom line oriented, which is good. Like step number 1 is reading somebody and seeing what it is that they want. You got that. But then step number 2 is not just caving into what they consciously want, but also being able to tie in all the things that you know is going to be helpful for them. So as an example, this guy's super dry, right? You can probably already tell he's not going to be having a very emotional conversation, potentially not even open to being very emotional or looking at his emotions. I might tie in those emotions to the bottom line that he wants. So like, we're going to have a no bullshit conversation here today, Jeff, talking about where you're at with business, what it is that you want, and at the end of the day, why it is that you actually want those things. Because let's be real, the only thing that really matters, aside from making the impact, is also understanding why it is that that's important to you. Make sense? So like I'm starting to touch on the emotions that we are going to cover and tying them to what he wants. That way, when we start having an emotional conversation, it's already framed in his mind. Those neural connections are already built. That like the emotions are the thing that actually matters. That is the bottom line. Not just revenue, not just like quote unquote making an impact. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense. And he watched like 2 hours of content. So I know he's not here to just get the price. Like I know he actually wants impact.
Yeah. Cameron, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I want to talk about the opposite side of the coin. When you say, now I'm not sure if you're required to say this on your offer, or this is part of the script, but when you say something like, I want to congratulate you for being here, to a personality type like that, I was listening to that as if I were the guy, as if I were Mr. Clean. That closes me off completely. And the reason why is because, number one, I don't know who you are and you're congratulating me. What the fuck do you want from me? That's what I'm thinking, is like, what does this person want from me? So it's gonna cause the opposite effect than what that line was intended for. It's gonna cause more of a barrier. Like, this guy wants something from me, so I need to keep my distance. So be mindful of those things, that we're not just kissing the guy's ass and accommodating, but we're actually just like, this guy, Christian, is exactly right. He wants bottom line. So we're just going to speak bottom line language to this guy. That's all he cares about. So that's all I wanted to chime in.
So then the reflection there is like, while that tool is useful to influence most people, like probably shouldn't use that here because he doesn't give a shit about if he's like, he already feels like that because he's very masculine, whatever.
This guy doesn't want to be congratulated. And even that, like, that's why sometimes when you give a compliment to somebody in the wrong context, it feels weird. Like, hey man, you are such a smart person. Like, okay, what do you want, weirdo? It's kind of like that same thing. If you were talking to like somebody who's like a super approval seeking and they need validation and approval, it might make more sense to say, hey, look, I just want to give you some credit for showing up today. That would make sense for somebody like that, like an approval person. That would light them up. But this is a whole different animal, whole different ballpark. So you got to speak a different language.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Go hop on your team meeting, Bradley. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for popping in.
This was great. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, let's go to Rubes. We've got the Google Drive link here to an audio file. Let's see here. Rubes, give us a little background. What you want to take a look at?
I guess just the overall process on how I'm approaching outbound these low ticket buyers, and if there's anything that I can improve on, or if like I should change what I'm doing.
Okay, give me a little bit of background on like the sales process. What's been consumed up until this point? Is it like a lead magnet lead? Is it a buyer lead? Is it a free opt-in?
Yeah, so it's essentially a buyer lead who's bought like a $27 low ticket course, gives them the base they need to launch their digital product. So I'm essentially calling them to see if I can get them on with a closer to upsell them into high ticket.
Got it.
AK 50, 25K.
All right, let's take a listen.
Hello?
Can you guys
Am I
hear?
reaching Veronica?
Yes, speaking.
So Veronica, it's Ruben with Travis Stevenson's team over at Paid Creators.
Make sure you speak loudly enough into your mic so that it picks up everything. One of the things with microphones is they use noise canceling technology. And so if it picks up your voice as noise because it's too quiet, it'll get all muffled like that. So just speak up, maybe put the mic closer to your mouth, whatever you need to do in order to make sure that it actually comes through and it's not muffled. Also, one other thing is I come on outbound calls with the same energy as inbound closing calls, which is like old grandpa, old best friend from high school. They should already know you. Rather than asking, hey, is this person? Like that already is going to put up alarm bells in their head as like, oh, why is this person calling me when they don't know me? So instead, I just pick up the phone, be like, hey, Rubes, how's it going? And they're like, who is this? You know? Let's keep going.
Were you able to gain access to the course you bought from Travis last month, the extraction pump for $27?
Decent, but you're probably just going to get like a simple yes or no answer. We want to get better than yes or no answers. Ideally, get no-based answers, but even more ideally than that, just already start cracking them open to longer answers.
Yeah, I've done a bit, but not everything. I sort of got stuck a bit. Not got stuck, but I just started and haven't had a chance to finish.
No worries. I guess, like, what were you originally looking to get out of launching a digital product originally?
Yeah, sorry, I can't hear you very well.
I asked, like, what was the overarching outcome you were looking for with launching a digital product?
Well, I generally am looking into options of, alternative income streams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm sort of testing different things and, see what's out there. So that's where I'm at.
Cool. Personally, I would, if you're going to go this angle, I would start with a couple of binaries and go in with a frame that you are customer success team, essentially. Making sure they got access, making sure they got what they were looking for, asking what it was that attracted their attention in the first place, and go in with binaries like, is this going to be your first time launching a digital product, or have you already launched one before? Oh, no, it's going to be my first time. Oh, fantastic. Are you looking to like supplement your income or replace your income? Oh, just looking to supplement it for now. Okay, very cool. What is it that you do for a living? Oh, I'm XYZ, person. Oh, cool. How long have you been doing that? And like it will flow a lot more smoothly if you just open up with those two binaries.
Got it.
Is this your first time or have you done it before? And supplement or replace your income. And you can add little things in between, but that'll at least get them rolling and it'll give you structure to the call rather than her just like waffling. Because, very important thing here, whatever she waffles on, her brain is going to make consistent decisions with that moving forward. So if she just happens to waffle and say something that would be misaligned with what you guys do, her brain doesn't care what you say. She already made the decision that she's misaligned. Even if it was just an accidental top of mind waffling. That make sense?
Yeah.
So you want to avoid waffling. You want to immediately just steer the conversation.
Got it.
Make sense? Cameron, anything you want to add to that?
Consistency. So it's like sharpen your question so that her answers are her taking a stance that's aligned with what you guys do, which makes your job easier. So I can say like, I could say one question I could ask is, hey, are you still looking for help with XYZ? Because that gives you an option to say yes or no.
Right.
Or I could say, yeah, I know you told so-and-so earlier I'm looking at my notes, looks like you had a conversation with so-and-so, or you filled out a thing that said you were looking for help with X. Were you still looking for help with that, or have you found what you're looking for already? No, I'm still looking for help with that. Boom. She just said, I'm still looking for help with that. And so the entire conversation, her behavior, her answers have to be consistent with I'm looking for help because she told you I'm looking for help. So that's just an example, but you have to follow that consistency. Consistency is huge. It's the biggest driver of human decision making. So huge, huge, huge.
Yep, 100%. You might be able to also lead Rubes with something more like curiosity inducing. So start with like the friendly frame and then say, hey, I got your name on a sheet of paper here. Immediately somebody's like, why is my name on a sheet of paper? It's like, what? Do people even use paper anymore? I've got your name on a sheet of paper here, and influencer name gave it to me and said that you were looking to make some money. with digital products. Is that right? Like, or had you given up on that? Oh yeah, okay, got it. Is this your first time making money with digital projects, or is this something you've done before? And then now you're just straight into the binaries. Does that make sense? So like open that curiosity loop rather than something I feel like all the love in the world to guy whose name rhymes with Maramy Giner is the curiosity tone doesn't actually induce curiosity. You have to induce their curiosity. And it's not just done through a curiosity tone. Tone can help, but it has to be through your actual message as well. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's probably enough. I just focus on the opening for now. All right. Just focus on the opening. And also potentially get with, have you met Holden Andrews inside the community?
Yeah, but I actually talked with him a bit.
Fantastic. Talk with him more because I also gave him similar advice on his openers, so you guys can work together on it.
Appreciate that, Christian.
No problem, dude. Great stuff. Thanks for sharing. Let's go to Jordan's Zoom session. All right, Jordan. What's up? Let's see here. You got to be more active on WhatsApp, Jordan. I'd send you messages, and I don't hear back from you for a little while.
I thought I responded, didn't I?
You probably did. It just took a little while. I'm just messing with you. But also kind of not. All right, where do you want to take a look? What do you want to work on?
So if you skip to 4230 or like 4240.
Okay.
So a lot of like most of the leads we talk to here, it's like 3 to 4 week sales cycle. But this guy, I feel like just based on the presentation, like we had good rapport. He like gave me buying signals. We have a follow-up call scheduled tomorrow. But I just want to see if there's anything I could have done differently in the approach, like at the end of the call, to get him across the line earlier.
Okay, got it. Is this where you're asking for the close?
A little bit after. Yeah,
okay,
like
cool.
if you go 40, 42, 35, 40.
Okay, let's start here and then let's work our way forward.
So and this is in 2 years. Like we launched March 2024.
this?
So with this, when you see people close in 23 months, 22 months, they either aren't really actively searching and they just know eventually they want to buy a business, or they have a very tight and tough search criteria, but they're still going to close. You're still like, again, it's $20K investment to buy a business. You have all the resources and support. More often than not, though, you're looking at 6 to 9 months is kind of that average. We say sometimes quicker, sometimes a little bit longer, but you retain access to our service until you buy something.
69 months.
Okay. How are you feeling?
I want to do it. I want to buy the business, right? So,
Wait, pause. So right there, what I would have done is called out the hesitation before he said the next word. He said, I want to do it. And then there's a silent, invisible but. So I would have just said, okay, what's going on, man? You said you want to do it, but there's a but. What's the but? Seems like there's a little hesitation. Just call it out. Call the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why you want to do that, Jordan? Do you understand why to do that?
Like addressing the elephant in the room? Almost.
Yeah. Like what does that communicate to the other person?
Like
when
trust.
Yes, but what does it communicate to the person when they are saying something and then they aren't saying something that you can tell they're not saying?
Do you understand them?
Yes. Keep going. What else?
I'm not sure.
You're listening?
And nothing's getting past you. Yes, you're listening and nothing is getting past you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they will not be able, this is one of the great things that you can do throughout the call, and especially if you train them on it early, is that nothing gets past you. You see everything and you hear everything. And it's not like it can be intimidating to some people, but it's not like for bad. It is for their benefit. Like you're asking, what's going on? What's your hesitation? What can I help with? What do you feel like you need? Where are you missing something? Like those sorts of questions will just trigger somebody to realize that you're on their side and that you're sharp, which also communicates if you're sharp, then being inside the program is probably going to be the same thing, consistency, like what Cameron said a minute ago. Yeah. So just whenever you hear something, be on it. Just call it out immediately.
Yeah, sure. You send me a contract, sign it.
Yeah. We literally get you on a call Monday morning. Then we start sending deals.
Okay. So as I said, I'm excited about this. I think I would like my wife to. I want to do it. I want to buy the business, right? So,
Bullshit. Bullshit.
what happens next? I tell you, yes, sure. You send me a contract, sign it.
So he's when he says the words, "What happens next?" That means I'm uncertain. Give me certainty.
Yep.
Make me feel safe. That's all he's saying.
Mhm.
What happens next? Make me feel safe.
Yeah.
Safety.
And I'd
So
probably
what-
put that to the side. I'd be like, well, before we get into what happens next, we need to make sure, like, scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about everything we've gone through? Like, get him to voice
The buy-in. Yeah.
and create his certainty. Yes, 100%.
Cameron, when he says, "So what happens next?" What are some things to say to make him feel?
Exactly what Christian said. So it's there are words that a person says out of their mouth, and then there's what they're actually communicating. So you have to build the muscle. You have to use your ears and build the muscle of sniffing out what they're actually telling you underneath the words. What he's telling you underneath the words is, I don't feel safe. So what I need to communicate to him is, hey, look, why don't we take this process and put it aside? I want to make sure that you are bought in. So all of this stuff aside, everything, next steps aside, what's going on, man? Is everything okay? Scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling about this? Because if there's anything less than a 10, I want to talk about that, because it wouldn't even make sense to talk about next steps if you're not a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So what's going
and then
on?
also, guys, for discovery, when you say like show them that they're listening, so if they bring up a point mid disco while they're talking, do I cut them off and address it right away, or do I just circle back to it after they finish their point?
Depends. It depends on context. You can do either one.
You have a specific context in mind, Jordan? Like, was there a moment earlier in the call where you feel like you said something you didn't address, so you should have?
No, I think sometimes it's like I want to let the people be able to voice what they're saying. There are things that they'll say, especially during discovery, where I'm like, hey, I could probably bring that up, but sometimes I'll circle back to it. Sometimes there'll be something else brought up.
Jordan, you can cut people off mid-sentence if your intention is to bring it back to something they just said. People will let you do that. If you're talking to me and I cut you off and I go, anyway, back to what I was saying, now I'm a dick. I'm an asshole. Yeah. But if you're talking to me like just mid ramble and I just go, whoa, Jordan, rewind the tape 10 seconds. You just said something. I want to talk about that. 10 times out of 10 times, people will be okay with that 100% of the time, because you're making it about them. I'm interrupting you to keep the spotlight on you. Okay. Does that make sense? And so that's, you can absolutely cut people off if you do it tactically.
Perfect.
100%. And also remember, Jordan, people don't say things for no reason.
Yep.
So the fact that something is coming up while they're on another point, there's some sort of connection there. Maybe it's worth exploring, maybe it's not, but up to you. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here at the end.
We literally get you on a call Monday morning, then we start sending deals.
Okay. So as I said, I'm excited about this. I think I would like my wife to lead the process.
Okay.
I would like to like my son. He's going to college, but I think he would like to be part of it too. It doesn't matter on your end, right? Who's on this side? It doesn't matter, right?
I'll show you what, basically, once you sign our agreement. Here, sorry.
I would ask why he's bringing that up.
Okay.
Like, why do you ask?
Yeah. That makes sense.
So just in these couple of seconds, I know that we haven't watched much of the call, Jordan, but there's already a pattern. So I want to make sure that you see the pattern, which is whenever somebody has a question, you go to like justify it logically with, I saw you going through this big old slideshow and spreadsheet and Slack and now this as well. Like, you have a tendency, it sounds like, to logically justify things because that's how your brain works, right? You've been rewarded for that over the course of your life. Most people have. However, you and I both know that that's not how everybody works. Some people do. Some people don't. This guy, I would imagine, does not. And of course, when I say some people don't, everybody doesn't. But like, we'll get there. It's a coping mechanism. So just a bit of homework for you coming out of this is when somebody asks a question, ask them a question back. Ask them a question about their question before answering. You'll notice that oftentimes the reason they're asking a question is something hyper relevant, and it's something that you need to have a conversation about that's more important than your justifying thing that you're about to share. Does that make sense? So like if he's bringing up his family, why might somebody do that? Like if I were to ask this guy, what's the main reason you asked, just so I understand, what do you think he would say?
He wants them to be on board with everything.
Okay.
Why is family's important to him?
Ah, okay. There we go.
Or I'm bringing them up now to set up a reason, even if the reason's false, to set up a reason to delay a decision.
Because he lacks certainty.
Mm.
And he's not getting it from you.
Yeah.
He's getting all the stuff, but stuff doesn't equal certainty. Make sense?
Yeah, super helpful.
Cool. So just start asking questions before answering questions.
Okay.
Huge.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Jordan, do you have a like a girlfriend or a partner?
Yeah.
Whenever she's upset and she's like visibly upset, and you say, "Hey, babe, is everything okay?" and she looks at you and she says, "I'm fine." You know damn well she's not fine. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
This guy is just your girlfriend telling you, "Oh, I'm fine." And then what you did was you're like, "Oh, okay, cool. You're fine. You said you're fine, so I guess we can move on."
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Cool. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
No problem, dude. Thanks for sharing. Any other conversations you guys want to review? Anything you want help with? We're through the comments on the post. For those of you guys who came late, just to share this with you so you see it real quick. Each week we're going to be making a post just like this, probably on like Monday or Tuesday. And essentially just you'll drop your conversations that you want reviewed in here, or if you have if you want us to go through the marketing funnel for your business or anything like that, just drop it in. We can take a look at it, see what we can work on, and we'll prioritize these first on Fridays, and then we'll open it up for questions for people after that. So now we've been through those. What else do you guys want to go over? How can we help? It's your time.
Yeah, I had a question on the intro that you shared with, who was it?
Rubes?
Yeah, I think it was with Rubes. Because you said you handled the emotion, or you were targeting the emotions we're gonna go through on the call.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was with Bradley.
Oh, Bradley, that's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Could you break down that intro and maybe how to use it with different people?
Yes. The short version is that there's a couple of levels to influence, and I know you know this, but I'm going to say this for the recording and for everybody else that doesn't know it. So for the Illuminati program, we teach this thing called 4D influence, and it's exactly what it sounds like. There's 4 dimensions of influence that you have to go through in order to have a high level of influence. Number 1 is disarm. Number 2 is design. Number 3 is direct. And number 4 is deploy. Deploy is just actually use the thing and practice it. So let's get rid of that one for a second. The first one is disarm. Right? So step number 1, in order to have any sort of influence or persuade somebody or whatever you want to call it, you need to be on both sides disarmed. There needs to be no walls up, right? So if you have somebody who you can tell is very non-emotional, is very bottom line oriented, results driven, they don't give a shit about how stuff gets done, they just want to get it done. How do you disarm that person? How do you make them feel safe? Open forum. You guys can come off mute. Let me know. How do you make that person feel safe?
You tell them they will get what they want, which is being direct, no fluff with them.
Yeah. Bingo. Yeah. You just give them what they want, and you tell them you're going to give them what they want. So you might open a call like that, saying something like, we're going to have no bullshit conversation. We're going to cut all the fluff, and we're just going to get to what really matters, which is money. Done. Like, end of discussion. And also do it succinctly so they know that you're showing it. You're not just saying it. Because talk is cheap. Cameron, I see you.
Yeah, I know you did. And I saw you see me, which is why... never mind. Adding on to that, that's why that opener, which would be effective for that person, for the Mr. Clean bald guy, would be a disaster for the opposite personality type, which is like someone who's like an the approval person or like the acceptance person. That opener would not work.
Yeah.
It would have to the opener. The opener itself is not the trick. It's the mechanic behind it. The whole mechanic behind it is I need to disarm this person. How do I disarm this person? I disarm them by giving them what they're looking for to feel safe. And so like with the 4 Ds, the other 3 Ds cannot happen unless the first one is checked off. You cannot get furniture. You could have the most expensive, like handcrafted furniture, but you can't get it through a closed door. If the front door of your house is closed, you can't get that furniture in. So the furniture is useless. You have to get the door open to get the stuff in. So the opener is not the point. It's how am I disarm? What can I do or say to disarm the person in front of me? It's the what is the scale and what's the music theory behind the song so that I can recreate the song and play it a bunch of different ways for different audiences. It's the same thing.
Yep. And then the second step after that is design. Now, design just means choose your character, basically. Like, choose your tactic. Choose what you want to use in this situation. There's a million tools that you could use. For me, in the example I gave Bradley, I'm just using association and dissociation. So I'm disarming the guy by giving him what he wants. But then also, I'm associating, I'm tying in the things that I can already tell are going to be a roadblock for me in this conversation. And of course, when I say a roadblock for me, I mean a roadblock for them. Like, more than anybody else in this call, I would bet, Al, you understand the value of seeing your emotions and facing them, not just burying them, right? So it's the same thing with this guy. He's probably just burying his emotions, and I know that that's not helpful for him. I know that's not helpful for any human. And so I see that he's probably going to be resistant to them, so I'm going to tie in having an emotional conversation or facing our feelings or anything like that directly to what he wants. So if he's bottom line driven, I'm going to say bottom line is results, and the results that really matter is how you feel at the end of your life when you look back on it. When we talk about, revenue, the only reason that revenue matters is how much you get to put in your pocket. When we're talking about making an impact on the world, I'm talking about that feeling of contribution when you know that you've impacted other people's lives. Like, I'm going to tie in all the things that I know we're going to need to have a conversation about that you might be a little bit resistant to with the things that you want. So it's like broccoli wrapped in bacon. You pick it up, you see bacon. You're like, great. You take a bite in it, and then there's broccoli, and you're like, what the fuck? But it's already too late. Like, it's already in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
We need to make a technique out of that. The broccoli wrapped bacon wrapped broccoli.
I learned that from Alex from Hormozy.
Yeah.
He's great.
That's good.
Cool.
So you make it sound and look good, and then once you're already in it, it's like, oh fuck, I'm already in the broccoli. Yeah. Okay.
Do you recognize what happened in phase 0 of the Illuminati?
Yeah, with all the stories.
Do you recognize what happened though?
Like the shifts and how
see
I
the
was
broccoli?
thinking about it, and no, I definitely felt the broccoli. Yeah.
Good.
I was like, well, at least there's bacon with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that makes.
So that's an example of it.